Oh, and welcome once again to Community Viewpoint. Oh, you caught me again reading the Pahrump Valley Times. Once again, I'm your host, John Pawlak. And if you remember the last time I was reading the Pahrump Valley Times, we had the editor on here. Let's see who's on the front page. Lillian Browne, Pahrump Valley Times. Let's see if we can have her as a guest today. As a matter of fact, she's sitting right next to me. Lillian, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Welcome to Pahrump.
Thank you.
You've come a long way, baby. How long? Where have you come from?
I hail from mid-state New York.
New York?
Yeah, across the country.
And how did you get here? By car? Or?
I did drive out after I flew out to interview for the position. I did drive out, and then I moved out.
Mm-hmm. And that was how many months ago? 3, 4, 5?
No, mid-December I
that fresh?
started, yes.
Oh my goodness.
I'm pretty new to the desert climate.
And you're on the front page, and you've written quite a few articles already. So you came in running. So you replaced another veteran reporter, Mark Waite, who is gone but not forgotten. I don't know, is he staying in the area? You don't know?
I don't really know.
Last time we lost him, he went all around the world. Did you hear about that?
I did.
And he ran out of money, then he had to start selling articles so we could keep him going around till he came back. But and it was wonderful. I don't know if that's true or not, but that was great to have him back for a few years, and now he's relaxed and enjoying himself. So you're at the new digs also. They're on
That's true.
372 right across the street from Walgreens or behind the Bank of America.
That's right.
If you're on, if you go to the old place on this near the duck pond, you're in the wrong building. They're not there anymore.
We're now sharing space with Pahrump's other local newspaper, which is the Mirror. So we're both in the same building.
Mm-hmm. So I imagine that is real nice and cozy, but that's another show. So you're doing the political stuff, you're doing environmental stuff?
I am. I am covering politics here in the county, not just at the county level, but also at the state and federal level. The first day on the job, I had the pleasure of interviewing, at that time, Congressman-elect Crescent Hardy. That was my very first task here in Pahrump. And since that time, I've had the pleasure of speaking with a number of state senators as well as our county commissioners.
Oh, okay, great. All of the commissioners?
All of the commissioners.
Okay. Oscarson?
I actually, in last week's paper, I interviewed Assemblyman Oscarson and State Senator Pete Gokachia with regard to an issue of vast importance to the people of Pahrump and all of Nye County.
And what could that be?
Which is water.
Oh.
Our water issues. Very important here.
Yes. And our last segment dealt with the groundwater issues from the Nevada test site, or the NNSS as it's called now. And so you're getting your feet wet.
I'm getting my feet wet.
Yes.
This is not vastly different from many of the topics that I covered on the East Coast. I also covered politics there. In addition, I did cover the topic of water. It seems that it does not matter if it's on the East Coast or the West Coast. Water is a very important topic no matter where you are in this country.
But on the East Coast, as well, in the Midwest where I was from, we would have surface water too. It was a little bit different. Yours would be coming from a lake, river, or something like that?
Or reservoirs, surface streams. The issues are vastly different between the East and the West Coast. On the East Coast, we have a surplus of water, and we're constantly facing flooding issues. Here in the West, we're constantly monitoring our water and trying to conserve and preserve and looking at future shortages. However, it's not that different in that everybody wants the water. Everybody wants access to the water. So it's not vastly different from what I had done on the East Coast.
What about the politicians? A little bit different here? Or it's the same thing?
Politics are politics are politics. And what I have found, though, is I have found a notable difference between the East and West parts of this country. I have discovered that the the residents here in Nye County are very engaged in their government and very proactive and attending meetings and very engaged with the politicians here, where on the East Coast it seemed that many of the residents and the constituents relied on their elected representatives to represent their issues. Here, the people are very vocal and want to be heard themselves.
It must be a trust issue. I don't know, but interesting. Yes, because I'm from the Midwest, and we did things different in the Chicago area too. I lived under the two Mayor Daley's back in those days, but yeah. So that's interesting. And this is you had no idea what BLM was on the East Coast. I didn't know about it in the Chicago area because there wasn't one extra piece of land that was not owned by somebody. So this is Bureau of Land Management, the federal agency that manages the land for us, no matter what they say or what it seems like. It's our land, and they manage it for us.
And that's one of the topics that I was dropped in the middle of also. Right now we are following the public comment period, which has been extended until March 9th for the resource management document and the environmental impact statement, where the Bureau of Land Management has asked the public for input with regard to how they will manage the conflicts of competing uses for the property that they're managing. So I've been dropped in the middle of that, and I find that equally as fascinating.
Mm-hmm. There's many issues.
A volatile topic.
Yes.
A volatile topic.
When you say BLM, sometimes those are fighting words. And this is one. Yeah, these are other articles too. But your editor was here a couple of weeks ago.
That's right, Arnold Knightley.
Arnold was here, and I didn't realize he has an extensive background in the nuclear field in one way or shape or another. And I find it out now after the fact because he didn't know, and I didn't have the forethought to tell them I worked for the Yucca Mountain Project. So we would have had a little bit more in common. But
perhaps you'll have to have him back on your show.
Or maybe he's watching. So yes, hopefully he is. But and that's interesting to find out about him. I should have known that too.
So we're keeping an eye on those issues. As you mentioned with your last guest, and as you mentioned now, there is a recent resurgence in opening the Yucca Mountain nuclear waste storage facility, and so we're keeping very close tabs on that topic in addition to many other topics here in the county.
Right, the Yucca Mountain is still alive, and I would say because it's still there. The money has been taken away from the project by Senator Reed when he was in charge of the Senate, but the political winds have changed. Republicans are in control of both the Senate and the House of Representatives. And as you see in the paper, if you read the paper today, that there's a movement to reinstate the Yucca Mountain as far as money goes and moving it forward. So I believe it's a definite environmental issue that is good for us. You have a lot of people on the other side of the hall that say otherwise, but I worked for the Yucca Mountain Project for 5 years. I did extensive research on it before I came out here because I wanted to know what I was getting into moving from Lamont, Illinois, where this all started. Enrico Fermi was out there at the Argonne National Laboratories, so I had a keen interest in what am I getting into when I go to Yucca Mountain. So I studied it for a few years, and then I came out here knowing that wasn't a problem. It was the Nevada test site was more of an issue because the groundwater issue. So, but that's what happens when you have a little time on your hands and you have access to a public library.
Well, it's not just Nye County residents or the people of Pahrump who are leaning toward or wanting that Yucca Mountain to be reopened. Or to be open. There are many different legislatures throughout the country are really pushing right now to have the project funded because people, municipalities, electric companies, medical waste facilities need a place and a safe place to store their nuclear waste. And the evidence seems to suggest that Yucca Mountain is that place.
Okay, so that's the politics for today. But
Yes.
a little bit more about what you're going to be doing. You're going to be doing the governmental issues. You're going to be doing environmental issues.
Yes.
What else are you going to be doing?
Well, I'm doing some community issues as well.
Did you go to any meetings lately?
The one with you right before the segment. I have discovered a part of Pahrump that I think has been just under the public's purview with the huge arts community that we have here. And so I'm discovering parts of Pahrump on my own that I'm really enjoying.
Good. I can clue you in on some other places that I know of also. There are artists here on all different levels,
Yes.
either through the schools, the Pahrump Arts Council, or there's some individuals that work with these huge pieces of art too. They work in metal, they work in stone and things like that. So we have the open spaces to do that. You know, my yard happens to be 2 acres long, 2 acres big, and so I can build something big in there. So we have the ability to have a lot of that out here. So you'll be very interested in what you can write on it here.
Right. There are many topics.
Oh yeah.
Many topics.
And we haven't seen that or heard that in a long time. There's a gentleman has a garden-size railroad in his backyard. He's got like a 2-acre plot. He could sit on his little railroad and drive through there. You don't know about that yet?
Not yet.
Okay. So there's a lot of interesting things that are happening here. So you've been here since December. This
Yes.
is only February.
Right.
So are you going to be going, you go to Tonopah? That's somebody else's.
No, we don't actually travel to Tonopah. The county commission does televise their
So you could just stay down here and
meetings.
do, right.
What we do is we go over to the commission here in the commission chambers in Pahrump, and we participate in that way. And we can also follow the video. So if you're unable to attend the meetings either in Tonopah or Pahrump, you can certainly watch on video.
It's interesting. So I'm looking at the community section
Yes.
right now. So I have to mention that my dear friend Charlene Dean passed
Yes.
away last year. I hadn't gone to see Marie Wojcik, the publisher, for a long time, but something had drawn me to the building the other day. It's when I met you, and it was the day after Charlene had died. So maybe I was pulled there. So a dear friend of mine, we're sorry that she passed on, but hopefully she's in a better place and she's out of pain right now. So I miss you dearly, and you're one heck of a character. So I miss you very much, Charlene. So, but we still have Selwyn, we have you. Who else do we have there?
We have our sports coverage, which is provided by Vern He, and of course we have our new editor, who you spoke to already, Arnold Knightley, who brings a vast amount of experience and a breath of fresh air to the paper.
So we'll see you next week. Thank you.